Hey, Tanya,
Hey, Christopher.
have you seen Billy?
I think he was around the corner from you.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's right where I left him. Okay, good. Because it's time we probably record a podcast. Do you think?
Yeah,
I'm
I think
here.
so.
I'm
There he
here.
is.
I'm here.
Oh, I didn't see you. You were dressed up for Halloween.
Yeah, my favorite costume. I'm the grumpy old guy with his windows drawn and the lights out.
That's the one I was thinking of. Next on FC3's Monkey Business. From Rochester, New York, the home of people who are just really, really tired right now and need to take a nap. This is FC3's Monkey Business, your one-stop shop for everything geeky. And anything can be geeky if you love it enough, except for, bad mood we're in. Anyway, starring Tanya Metris, starring Billy Tittori, starring Dan Carmen, and starring me, I'm Chris Frank. Hi!
Hi.
Boy, we're really into it right now, aren't we?
And usually there's a Dan behind the scenes, but there's no Dan behind the scenes today.
Dan's taking a week off, which is cool. He's earned that stuff. I mean,
Well, Dan's going to have to edit this.
yes.
So he'll have to edit it when we're done
Yeah.
for Wednesday, but I have control of the Zencaster podcast.
Right.
So there's no Tanya Metris on the list. It's a Dan Carmen, Chris, and a Susan Tittori. So it's not even Billy.
Yeah, it's not. Funny thing is, Susan DeTorre will be joining us next week.
I am so looking forward to this, her podcast debut.
Yes.
That'll be fun.
When she heard we were going to be talking about one of her favorite movies next week, she asked if she could join in. And I said, absolutely, because one of us has to like the movie.
So on Nerd World News this past Monday, I did mention that we were going to be doing a podcast about Hocus Pocus and practical magic. Unfortunately, technical issues arose and
ensued. Yes,
it ensued, and hijinks ensued, and we wound up losing much of what we had recorded. So we're going to do that over again this weekend. We're going to get the whole gang together, and plus Susan. So that's kind of cool. We lost something, but we're going to gain something big in the process by having.
And I think that's probably a better thing.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. I think that's going to make it a whole lot better. So this week, we're just going to kind of, chew the fat a little bit like we normally do. And it's Halloween season, so we're going to chew the fat about
this is Halloween. This is Halloween. Oh, wait.
That comes from The Nightmare Before Christmas, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think that's a Christmas movie.
Is that a Christmas? And that's a Christmas movie.
Yes.
Right along with
Die Hard.
Yes, exactly.
So, yeah, I think we'll probably talk a little bit about things that we like and dislike about Halloween, maybe our favorite candies, touch back on that, because I think we talked about that last year, and I know we did our Dracula, Frankenstein, and the Wolfman movies. Was that last year or the year before?
Yeah, that was last year.
That was last year.
Oh,
so
Universal monster movies.
Yeah.
Right.
So I mean, we could talk about the classic monsters that you would associate with Halloween. Just everything and anything where the conversation takes us about Halloween.
Sounds good.
That type of thing.
That's definitely a doable thing. That sounds like fun in a can.
Do you think there's going to be many trick-or-treaters this year?
That's going to be a conversation, isn't it? I think that, parents are going to do what they can to try and preserve as much of their child's childhood as possible. So I think there will be little feet scampering around. I don't think we're going to see a whole lot of them, though.
Yeah.
I have been enjoying, though. I was watching Good Morning America today, and I was getting a kick out of, they did a little spot on how creative people were being at actually distributing candy, with like slides and tubes and winches and zip lines and stuff. And guns, yeah, just gonna start blasting Snickers bars at people. I think that was cute. I thought that was clever, and there's people who are in the spirit of it who just want to do what they can so that they can feel like they're a part of it this year, and that's kind of neat. That's kind of. I'm not gonna down that one, but
yeah. So I'm like, oh, do I do like Ziploc bags and have the candy in individual Ziploc bags? Or do we just have the bowl and let people dig their hands in? Or should we be the ones just handing it out? So it's like kind of a thing to kind of think about.
Right.
To see how we're going to distribute.
Halloween is a big thing for Juliana, my daughter. and she's already talking about how she's going to do ABC to make things happen. She wants to have a couple of friends over. They want to watch Halloween movies, and I said, "Well, then you're going to be in charge. You go ahead and you set it all up, and you let me know if you want my help, and we'll go from there." And so that's a conversation that has occurred at our house. And we'll see where it goes. I know she's very keen on making certain things happen, and I'll definitely humor her. I mean, it's not like I'm not bah humbug, about
It's just not your favorite.
It's just not my. It used to be. I used to look forward to it, but I just don't anymore.
Yeah, did we grow out of it, or is there a more personal reason with you that you don't want to talk about? Or
well, no, I don't know. I don't have like a traumatic brain injury or from
Yeah.
Halloween or anything. Traumatic experience.
That's just spiders.
Yeah, well, I just know I don't even think it has anything to do with that. It's just because I know fake spiders are fake spiders. That's the thing. I think you're right, Billy. I think I just may have grown away from it, and
A lot of people still like to go out and go to bars or parties or whatever. And there was a band that used to play every Halloween in Rochester, a band from Boston I really loved. So I used to go there every Halloween.
Okay.
And they haven't played. They broke up a while back, and so now I just sit at home. But before, when I was a kid, I liked to go out and get candy. But now, after not going to see bands on Halloween anymore, unless there's just nothing to do for me on Halloween. It's just not a thing for me anymore.
Right.
And I think, I mean, now, and we're not necessarily taking a break, we're just going into our Halloween conversation now.
Right.
That I think that as we're getting older, our kids are getting older. I mean, Chris, you don't have any young kids anymore. I mean, granted, I have a 12-year-old, but even, I mean, he went out last year and he went more places than what we thought he was going to go. But even Tyler got to the point where a couple of years ago, I mean, he was like 16, 17. He's just like, okay, I'm done. He goes, I have no problem handing out candy. Or I'm like, he walked around with my parents when they took Riker out. He just walked with them. And then he dove into Riker's bag, of course, to get the candy, that type of stuff. Yeah. I mean, yeah. But yeah, I mean, I used to go out with the kids and I'm just like, I'm miserable if it's cold and dreary and wet. It's the last thing I want to do is walk around with the kids. So I'm thankful that my parents come up because it's like their favorite time. It's my mom's favorite holiday other than Thanksgiving and Christmas. She just loves to see all the costumes with the kids and things like that and to see the decorations. So she's like, oh, I can't wait for Halloween type thing. But then even she's gotten to the thing over the last couple of years where her and I have been underneath a blanket on the front porch with drinks or whatever, handing out the candy, and Randy and my dad have been out with the kid walking around because, I mean, my dad doesn't care. It gives him extra steps on his thing. He's like, okay, let's go, Riker.
Yeah, there you go.
Thing. And I mean, he doesn't care. I'm like, that's the only time that he stays up past his bedtime. My dad's bedtime is normally like 6:37.
Wow. I couldn't.
Yeah. Well, he's also up. Well, he was also up for years between 4 and 5. So if it gets to 8, 9 o'clock and he's still up, we're like, oh man, you're up past your bedtime. What's going on?
Yeah.
And it's just a standing joke in our house.
I know what that's like.
Well, yeah.
Did that
the
for a
morning
long
show
time.
business.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Right.
But, it's when I was a young adult, and I mean, even up to early 30s, I used to like to give out candy and stuff. But I think as times changed in the world, I became less trusting of opening my door to strangers.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
And I also got scared that the more cats I have, the more chance there is one of them will run outside in the dark.
Yeah.
Fair.
I can understand
Especially
that.
that dumbass Oliver who loves trying to get outside.
Poor Oliver.
And if it's not like raining and like really frigid, we have a nice front porch that we set up a TV tray with one of the big Halloween bowls that we have from numerous Halloween parties that we used to have, and dump all the candy in there. And then whoever is home, it used to be Nene sitting out on the front porch, but just with her health and things like that, she wouldn't necessarily be sitting out in the cold.
Right.
we're just wrapped up in blankets and parkas and everything, and we just hand candy out to the kids there, and we don't have to open our door, unless it's like, as I said, frigid, and then we do it, or we just leave the candy out there. So I don't know, but the best time to get candy is the day after Halloween.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Day after Halloween, day after Easter.
Yes, everything's 50% off, like automatically, type thing.
Right.
So, but
see that when I was a kid, my sister and I are 4 years apart, so it's not too bad. There was a crossover period where we used to trick or treat together. My brothers are way older than me, so I never went trick or treating with them. But I remember me and my sister trading candy. There were things I liked, she didn't. Things she liked, I didn't. So I'll give you these peanut butter cups for your licorice or whatever, or your Twix bars or whatever. Did you have siblings you did that with, or?
Chris and I are both only children.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Thanks
for opening that wound again. No, I'm kidding. That's actually not even an issue for me.
Wah, wah, wah.
And I live. I grew up in Lima, right on the Avon border. So.
And she was the only human being there, really. I mean,
there was like four houses on our little side road. Actually, yeah, 4. So I didn't trick or treat there. So I would go no kidding. I would go with family. We would go up to Livonia, or we'd go down into Lima, because I remember going with my friend Kim. Funny. Before I knew I was a Kimberly, that I went with my friend Kimberly, and because we went down through the village. But I mean, I just remember going with cousins around, because fortunately I have cousins that are just 1 year older, 1 year younger, and then one's 3 years older, 3 years younger. So we were pretty close in age that we would go together. But I just remember my mom going, okay, dump out your bag. I have to search everything. I have to inspect everything.
Yeah, my parents used to do that too. Just you didn't want the mythological apple with the razor blade in it.
Yeah, no kidding.
So.
Oh, okay. Wanted to make sure that Chris didn't inadvertently mute himself. There was an awful long pause.
I'm listening to the two of you.
I know, but that worries me every so often.
Well, you don't have to be.
Okay, because usually I don't talk this much.
Oh, and no, that's wrong. No.
Oh, wait. Let's go back. Usually, when you guys get on a conversation, I watch my bar be like completely blank with just a little bit here and there. And looking at the bars now, mine is pretty steady with talking, and yours and Billy's have a lot of sporadic spaces. So I do pay attention to that. Yes, I can talk. I know that.
All I know is that Dan Carmen won't shut up.
Yeah, no kidding. Shut Dan up, I tell you.
Danny.
So no, I'm like, yeah, it's that hypothetical or the mythological, as you said, needle or razor that's been in the apple, or something that was injected into the Snickers bars. But no, my parents' favorite chocolate bar are Almond Joys. And my mom's is a Snickers. So Snickers is pretty common, but not a lot of Almond Joys get handed out for Halloween.
At least not since the 50s.
Yeah. So a cup, Riker must have been, was it Riker or Tyler? It was one of the two. If it was Tyler, it went back a long, long time ago. We were out trick-or-treating. And I can see him doing this. I just can't remember which boy it was. That my dad was like diving into one of the boys' trick-or-treat bags, and he's like, hey, you have any Almond Joys in there? And they're like looking, and with a flashlight, no Almond Joys. So one of the next houses they came up to or whatever, they're like, trick-or-treat. And then they're like, do you have any Almond Joys for my papa? Because they were always thinking about the grandparents that were taking around. And eventually, some houses did have some almond joys, so now we specifically buy a bag of almond joys to throw into our bucket because we know then when we have pizza that night or whatever that my parents will go through our candy bucket and grab some on the way out, type thing, and we have some for them. But we also get the candy that we like to eat, and then a majority of it comes downstairs to the basement.
How late do your kids stay out trick-or-treating?
When it's a school night, I want to say they're in by 8.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. That was sort of like my time too, because it gets dark by 6-ish.
Yeah, and it's like last year I could just remember it being rainy and miserable. And I think Riker stepped in a puddle and he was like sopping wet, or my dad's pants were sopping wet type thing. And he's like, Robin, let's go. We're leaving type thing. And I want to say that was like 7:30 that he was done. But he also went out like starting at 6. Like as soon as like dinner time's technically over and they had their pizza and he changed his clothes, he was out. And
it rained like furiously last Halloween. I remember that.
Yeah, it was miserable. So, but yeah, I think Randy stayed outside until about 8:30. I was already inside because I had been handing out candy from 6 to 8:30, and then I was cold. So I handed it over to somebody else, and I came down and played WoW for a little bit because I'm like, listen, I had my 2.5-hour stint handing out candy type thing. I want some my time. But I mean, Tyler was out handing out candy. Riker went outside at that point, handed out some candy too. And he's like, oh, look at the cute little costume here. Have 3 more candy bars. So.
See, I think my favorite part was the getting home and going through your candy bag and sort of watching whatever your favorite TV show of that night was. Because I was usually home by 7:30, 8 o'clock too.
Yeah.
So, like eating a Hershey's bar while watching Happy Days or.
Because usually there was some type of Halloween type episode on that night.
Yeah. Right. Or the Halloween specials, which don't seem to be as prevalent nowadays. You still got Charlie Brown.
Yeah, Charlie Brown being the classic.
But there used to be more like Fat Albert Halloween and
and I'm sure they'll show the Charlie Brown one. At least there'll be a channel somewhere that shows the Charlie Brown one, right? But it's just a matter of I don't know. It's things have changed.
Yeah, I wonder if Freeform is showing Halloween-y type movies. Hold on, Freeform schedule. Freeform's 31 Nights of Halloween 2020 schedule looks better than ever. Let's see. It begins October 1st, so we're already 6 days in. Of course, Hocus Pocus is on there. So, let's see. They've showed so far Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, Tim Burton's Corpse Bride, Casper, Hotel Transylvania, Hocus Pocus, The Goonies, Nightmare Before Christmas, Beetlejuice.
I love Beetlejuice.
The Simpsons Treehouse of Horror.
Yay.
Let's see. Tonight, Beetlejuice was on at 6:30.
Showtime.
Hotel Transylvania is on at 8:30. Tim Burton's Corpse Bride is on at 12 a.m. tonight. Then tomorrow is at 11 o'clock, Decorating Disney Halloween Magic. Now, that's kind of the stuff that I like to watch, is how, like, Disney, or if they have, like, Halloween Wars on one of the TV shows where, like, neighborhoods are really going all out on decorations for the season.
So, like, reality programming, Halloween themed.
Yeah. Or even Christmas themed. It's just watching them do it. So tomorrow at 11 o'clock, Decorating Disney. Maybe I will DVR that. Tomorrow night at 12 a.m. is Jumanji.
We're living Jumanji right now.
Addams Family is on Thursday. And then Addams Family Values. Oh, Friday morning, The Mummy.
The Brendan Fraser one?
Yes.
Or Tom Cruise or Boris Karloff?
No, it's 1999, so it's got to be Brendan Fraser.
Yeah.
Saturday at 1:00, Billy, The Simpsons Treehouse of Horror again.
Okay, yeah, they've Simpsons have done a Halloween episode every year for the last 30 years. So I guess to fill a 90-minute, they throw 3 or 4 of them together, I bet, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's like Scared Shrekless, a lot of Hocus Pocus because it's the staple for,
right.
And we're going to talk about that next week anyway. The 15th, there's Scream and Scream 2 and Scream 3.
Oh, so that Scream 5, is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, I did hear that.
Scream 5.
They're Courtney Cox and David Arquette. It's, I think, the original cast. They just signed Nev Campbell to it too.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Are they going to finally kill these people off?
I only saw the first one.
Uh-huh.
I saw it in the theater, and actually just brought up a memory. My sister and I went to go see Scream, the first one. It was pretty well reviewed, and we enjoyed it, except the part, and I still remember we saw it in the old Westmar movie theater on Buffalo Road.
Oh, okay,
I don't know if you guys remember that one.
I do.
And someone brought like a 4 or 5-year-old kid who was scared crazy and crying, and it's always kind of pissed me off when parents or guardians of some sort bring little kids to inappropriate movies.
We were there was a bunch of us from one of my Star Trek games. We were down in we were in Disney. We went to Disney for a week, and so one night we went out to a movies together, and I can't remember what it was, but it was an action movie, and there were tiny children in the audience, and they were not happy about being in this movie. And their families were like, don't care, we're just going to watch the movie. And we're like, wow, that kind of ruined the experience for us, didn't it?
Maybe the weirdest one I've ever been to was, do you remember the Westgate movie theater in Westgate Plaza?
Oh, yeah.
In Gates.
Oh, yeah.
So that was a second run theater for a while, just before it closed. Mm-hmm. And I went to go see Richard Pryor live on the Sunset Strip there. And there was someone there with little kids. And that pisses me off. I don't know. And then that has nothing to do with Halloween, but as long as we're talking about it. I remember that and Scream, little kids being there. And
what? Us go off on a tangent? I've never heard of that happening before.
No. Who, us? Someone must be dressing up like us for Halloween.
Oh, my God.
Oh, could you imagine?
That would be hilarious.
We should dress up like each other someday for some reason.
I'm not tall enough to dress up like either Chris or Dan.
Oh, yes, you are. Should be. That'd be fine. It's not, my style is not that hard either, especially in the fall or winter. It's Henley's t-shirts and jeans.
Yeah.
Well, as long as I have jeans and a Doctor Who hoodie on, I'm good.
There you go. See?
And
with a t-shirt. I'm just not tall enough.
Well, you're tall enough for me, Tanya.
Okay.
Go.
I just need to have comic book t-shirts on for Billy.
Exactly.
I'll put a Disney t-shirt on for Dan.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then can you get like one of your I tell you what, get out one of your 49ers hoodies and give it to Dan so he can dress up like you, Tanya.
Okay.
And Dan's sitting right now going, why do I have to be in drag?
And who am I?
Just
does that make me Chris?
Sure.
I don't know. I'm not sure who's left.
Okay.
Or am I Dan?
Well, let's see. I was taking Chris.
Oh, okay.
Chris was taking Dan.
Dan's taking Tanya, and then Tanya can take Billy.
No, I was already taking Chris.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
So
Billy can be Billy.
Confused. Yeah. No one wants to be me. I got a rock.
No. What we do is I take Chris takes Dan takes Billy, and Billy takes me.
Okay.
Now that we've got that all sorted out.
49ers jerseys for you, Billy.
And we're going to do this for costumes we're never going to do. But
I was just going to say that now that we've got this sorted out, something we're never going to do.
Yeah. People.
But we had to figure it out.
Yeah.
I know. Seriously, we spent some time on that one, didn't we?
Uh-huh. And then Ann and Susan can just flip places.
Yeah.
There you go.
Susan can take care of cows and can solve
herd kittens.
Yeah.
She's good at that.
Yeah.
And herd people.
Mhm.
I was going to say, I know Susan's good at herding people and herding, HERDING,
Yeah, I was
not
going to ask you to
herding.
clarify that for a moment.
I don't know. I don't want to be on the receiving end of Susan's scathing tongue at times.
I am not going to say a thing because I still remember the look she gave me.
Oh, so many years ago, sitting at Knox. Okay, yes,
Oh,
Susan,
yeah.
we're going to do whatever you have to say.
Why
Yes.
don't you do this thing? And I'm like, well, I have reason. There's a reason here. And then she kept staring at me. I'm like, okay, we're going to do that thing.
Yeah.
She had that look. Like,
oh, that was powerful. I could feel that in my
ooh,
soul.
yeah. When she wants something done, ooh, she has that look.
Billy, does she do that with you, the Jedi mind trick?
Oh, no, not at all.
Yes, dear, whatever you say, dear.
Billy's thinking, what answer will save my life right now?
Not at all.
Oh, Madonna Mia.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, the first time I experienced it, I was like, that's the last time I want to experience that one.
I want to say she tries to give that look to the cats that are sitting in the cabinets.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, except that doesn't work. The cats have
Right.
minds of their own.
Oh,
yeah,
absolutely.
no kidding. They're immune to Jedi mind tricks. They must be Toydarian.
Yeah.
Jedi mind tricks don't work on me. Only kibbles and bits. I don't know.
Yeah, no kidding. Treats.
Treats, yeah.
Treats. Okay, since we're on the topic of candy, favorite candies. Favorite Halloween candy.
I've always kind of floated between Snickers and Kit Kats, the traditionals.
Mm.
Reese's peanut butter cups are strong contenders.
Are high up on your list.
Yeah.
See, this is my most controversial statement ever. I don't like nuts and I don't like peanut butter. I'm not allergic to them. I just can't stand them.
And that's okay. Sometimes it's a texture thing. I mean, because I'm not a big fan of like cashews and almonds and all that type of stuff. I'll eat a Snickers. It's not my favorite because I do like peanuts, but they're usually honey roasted. But other than that, I don't.
She prefers Snickers with the peanuts taken out, so otherwise known as the Milky Way.
Yes, I love Milky Way bars.
Milky Way's great.
Yes.
Twixes are great.
They say Milky Way is like the ghetto chocolate type thing that people. It's like
I don't get that concept, but
I don't either. I'm just like they're like, oh, I can't stand a Milky Way bar. I'm like, really? I'm like, right now that would be me in a Three Musketeers bar. I used to like them, and now I can't stand the nougat in it,
right?
Or like the whipped whatever. And I think it might be just a texture taste thing. I don't like it, but.
I mean, there's the highly underrated 100 grand bar.
I love those. Yeah. Doesn't even have to be Halloween. If that one of those, if we are like at the dollar store or something and we see it, it gets thrown in my basket. Those ones between me, Randy, and Tyler, we love those things.
Yeah, 100 gram bars are good. Mars bars are also very, very good, in my opinion. I do like me a Mars bar.
Yeah,
it's fun to say too, Mars bar. Yeah. It's like.
Now on the not chocolate, I've always loved licorice, red licorice and black licorice.
I remember the early days in the studio. I do.
Oh, a bag.
Oh, that's right. You guys did used to bring me licorice.
Lots of licorice.
Yeah. And
white Kit Kats.
Yep. Which didn't exist back in my Halloween days. It was regular Kit Kats or nothing.
Right. I'm kind of partial to the white Kit Kat myself from time to time.
I do like white chocolate.
All right, so let's brainstorm here. If we were to go all in and budget's not an issue, we can call Terry over at Arlene's and say, hey, what do you got? And she can hook us up with whatever we want. Tanya, what would be, and I want to preface this, before I ask the question, it's coming already. But I want to make a comment that Tanya is like, no bullshit, is one of my reasons why I still enjoy Halloween, because every year she gets into it. Every year when I would go to her and Randy's house for a party, she had a different costume and she was always so into it and enjoying it so much. So I get a kick out of it because she does still. right? So she's my
Mhm.
key to liking Halloween. And, she's had the Roman goddess ones, the steampunk, all sorts of cool
You
outfits.
missed the cheerleader one.
I did miss the cheerleader one. Didn't you just use your old cheerleader outfit from when you were in high school?
No, I don't fit into that, and those went back to the school.
Ah, okay.
It was like some type of red, white, and blue one that I ordered online.
Hmm.
Um,
So, with that being said, with no further ado on that one, Tanya, what would be your Halloween costume this year?
this year,
Hmm.
let's see. I've been through Spirit Halloween already in September, so I've already been through the store twice.
Hmm.
Um, because my son won't go through there, but I took Nene for her birthday because
Okay.
she just wants to stand on all the little displays and see if they jump out and see if there's anything cool display wise.
Hmm.
In regards to costume wise, I've always been a fan of the Victorian medieval feel of Kate Beckinsale's Van Helsing character.
Oh, yeah. I've heard you talk about that one in the past.
And every time like I like pattern like a fighter or a rogue when I'm playing D&D, I'm like it's dressed similar to her
Right.
there with like this whatever because it's got like the vest and the blouse and the jacket and
Hmm. Hmm.
the corset in there and then the high boots and just the epitome of something that reminds me of like it's not steampunkish but it's like modern medieval
Right.
like a modern feel of the medieval type thing,
Yeah.
but
That
there's
makes
definitely
perfect
some
sense.
steampunk going on with it because with
Hmm.
all the new technology that Van Helsing is given by the church, that type of thing.
Okay.
But yeah, it would be something like that or upping my game in regards to the steampunk because I really liked that. That was like one of the most favorite ones that I've had over the years. I liked how it fit. I liked like the darker colors of it. So, because I'm not a pastel person, so I can't do any of the pastel-y type things. So,
Is that because of preference, or you just don't feel it looks good on you?
it's just like I don't like the colors on me. I
Hmm.
just it makes I feel like it makes me washed out because I'm so pale to begin with. So
Never noticed.
those colors are I want to say too light for me for my complexion. So I
Okay.
always go for the warmer, richer colors. And
Okay.
that's and if you ever see my nails when I have my nails done, I never ever go like a pale pink or a pale blue or whatever. They're always a deep, dark, brighter color.
Hmm. That's fair.
So that's
Perfectly
me.
fair. Okay. So we
So
got some
that's what
good
I would
ideas
do.
from you. Okay. How about you, Wilhelm?
Hmm. I'm trying to think. One of my favorite costumes as a grown up when I used to go see bands like Reporter would play, and there'd be Halloween parties at clubs around town. I go see
Hmm.
local bands, and I had a court jester outfit that my mom made me.
Oh,
Hmm.
cool.
That was really cool. It was like green on one side and yellow on the other, and had the green pants and the jingly hat. And I always sort of liked that outfit. But just not. I'm trying to think. You said for this year, would I
Yeah.
want something to represent this year? Um,
Oh, here
Do
we
you
go.
want something for reference to represent this year or something to put this year behind you?
yeah, maybe that because this year has really sucked.
It does.
It has.
um, the obvious answer sort of is, do you want to be Trump with the big goofy mask? But no, I don't want to be Trump with the big goofy mask. And I
Yeah, that's
always
that's a
loved.
frightening costume.
Do I want to be just something I like Batman or Marvin the Martian, some sort of Looney Tunes. I always loved the Looney Tunes,
There you
cartoon
go.
character. So that might be fun, like a Marvin the Martian with the green helmet and the red shirt and
Where is my
yeah,
earth-shattering kaboom?
yeah,
I
exactly.
claim this planet in the name of Mars.
Hello, Q47. Exactly, yeah. So maybe something like that.
Okay.
Like Looney Tune type character, Bugs Bunny, or what God, what was I watching? Oh, I remember. This Saturday I watched a documentary about Batman the animated series and how it was born out of the Warner Brothers getting back into animation after not doing it for a long time because Steven Spielberg wanted to do Tiny Toons.
Oh,
We're
okay.
tiny, we're toony,
Yeah.
we're all a little loony. Sorry.
Which makes me want
Oh,
to
that's
go back
Animaniacs.
and watch the
No, you're
Tiny
right.
Toons cartoons. No, you're right. So now I want to watch the Tiny Toons because I remember really thinking they were clever back then. So do I want to be the little Tasmanian devil whose name I forget? Oh, what was it?
Taz.
No,
I think he was just Taz, wasn't he? Just regular.
Baby Taz.
was he?
I think he's Baby Taz.
Now I gotta Google, but
Oh, I got it.
Tiny Toons Taz.
Or was it Dizzy?
Dizzy Devil, that's what it was.
Dizzy Devil.
Yeah.
Look at me coming up with the 3-point shot. All right. I didn't even look that up. That just occurred to me.
Good job. So
Yay me.
I've had like cartoons on my mind because I watched the Batman documentary, and Tiny Toons was actually one of the jumping off points to make Batman the animated series was the fact that Tiny Toons wound up being a success.
Okay, talking about Tiny Toons, the Tasmanian She-Devil. The girl Taz's name. It was called She-Devil.
Huh.
Do you know she had been voiced by Mel Blanc and Brendan Fraser?
Oh, jeez.
Wow.
There's a span.
Was that from because didn't he star in Looney Tunes Back in Action?
I don't remember.
Hold on.
It's entirely possible.
Brendan Fraser.
Who has none of the horses, but is at least on the right side of the river.
Yes, he was.
Yeah. 2003 film.
He was a security guard, D.G. Drake.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Christopher.
Yes, dear.
What about you?
Oh, hell, Iron Man.
Oh.
I want a fully functioning suit with all sorts of flaps and stuff and lights and things that pop up and, the repulsor, like the emitters on the gloves. I want the whole damn shebang.
Okay, Robert Downey Jr., if you happen to hear this.
Oh my God.
Christopher would love to be Iron Man for Halloween. Could I tell you that when we've been playing our Marvel superhero type RPG game, he based his whole character on the Tony Stark character.
Hell yeah. Why would you not?
So, man.
And you know what? Now that you mentioned Marvel, you've inspired me, Chris.
Oh, cool.
My answer's obvious. I want to be Galactus. With the big purple helmet with the things sticking out of the side, the version that's not a cloud. I want to be Galactus and have my own and like a little attachment coming off my shoulder with a silver surfer that just sort of goes around my head.
That would be amazing. Something attached to the helmet so it just orbits your head.
That's
hysterical.
Just sort of follows me around.
And then every so often, this little kid dressed in like this whole big cottony poofy thing would come like across your path, and you'd scream, "He's not a cloud!
Not a cloud!"
I was gonna say one Halloween I went as Quake.
Yes, you did. I do remember that.
Quake.
Yep. Daisy Johnson.
Daisy Johnson. Chloe Bennett's character in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I haven't watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. since the first season.
Mm-hmm.
I just never got into it, although I should. Because it's
a decent enough show.
Well, it's funny in that I enjoyed the first few episodes, but it was back when you had to watch those dreaded commercials.
Oh, I know.
And now it's on Netflix, so you could go right ahead.
I should, because that's the same reason I tapped out of Gotham when that first started.
Yeah.
And Arrow and all those shows. I just wound up hating commercials. And
which is a real thing.
And then just like a month ago, Susan, I watched 100 episodes of Gotham in a week.
Oh boy!
Nice.
We watched all 5 seasons in a week.
Oh jeez!
Wow. Damn.
Something.
So if we were going Marvel, I mean, I did dress as Quake/Daisy Johnson one year, but I've always been looking for stuff to do Black Widow.
Okay.
So
Yep, I can see you doing that. I can see you pulling that
you'd
off.
be a good Scarlet Witch in the original Scarlet Witch costume.
with the red, with the big,
Yeah, with like
goofy-
an M-shaped mask.
The M-shaped mask, yeah.
Mhm.
I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to WandaVision.
That looks like it's going to be interesting. I
Yeah.
saw the trailer for it the other day, and it
Mhm.
looks like it's going to be properly mental.
Yeah.
Okay, why don't we take a quick break to gather up our thoughts to see where we want to go for like the last 20 some odd minutes of our conversation,
Sure.
and then we'll
I'll dig up a
wrap it
question
up.
of the week somewhere.
Yeah, someone digs up a question of the week.
I could do that. I'll find one.
Yeah.
Make it
All right.
Halloween related.
Maybe.
Billy's like, ooh. Okay, so Dan, we're taking a break at 40:40.
Okay.
Double of 2020.
And we are back, ladies, gentlemen, and all points in between. I hope everybody's having a good day so far, having fun hanging out with us as they usually are.
Now,
we good?
yeah,
Yes, go ahead, Billy.
during the break, I was thinking about something, and one thing we haven't touched on much during our conversation is like movies. They're scary movies. Is there a movie, a TV show, a book that you consider your go-to for the Halloween season?
That's a good one. I mean,
Well-
we're going to talk about Hocus Pocus and Practical Magic next week.
Which aren't my choices, so
Right.
But that's definitely like my coworker's go-to is Hocus Pocus.
Honestly,
she loves it.
We touched on it earlier when we were chatting. Is for me, it would just be it's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown.
Okay.
That's like a go-to thing for me that I need to see that, and then I'm good. Okay, I'm good.
See, one of my all-time favorite TV shows is The Twilight Zone, and I could watch it anywhere, and you'd think that'd be Halloween, except I associate The Twilight Zone with New Year's Eve because USA or Sci-Fi has done that Twilight Zone marathon over New Year's Eve, New Year's Day for, I want to say, at least a decade, maybe more.
Fair.
So I don't consider that Halloween. One of my favorite movies. Well, first, it's always the Universal Monsters. I forget if we talked about that on air or off, but the Universal Monsters are like my Halloween go-to. Frankenstein, Dracula, Wolfman. But also, did you guys ever see Creep Show?
No.
It was from the early 80s, which means you're probably too young for it.
Is that the one where Leslie Nielsen plays the insidious bad guy?
Yes.
Okay. And he buries Ted Dance's head in the sand or something?
Exactly. It's five short stories, all written by Stephen King. And Stephen King even stars in one of them. And that's maybe, like, over the years, I've grown away from, or not maybe grown away, but I don't like scary movies as much as I used to.
Never did for me.
But back in the early 80s, I really liked scary movies, and that was one of my favorites because it had a sense of humor, and it was an homage to the horror comic books of the 50s, 60s, 70s, the EC, Vault of Horrors, House of Mystery type of comics. So I really liked Creepshow. Was just a scary movie I've always just really enjoyed.
Okay.
And I don't see it that often. So, in fact, I saw, I think it was comic artist Dan Parent was wearing a Creepshow t-shirt once at a Comic-Con I was at. And I now it makes me really want to find it. So, that's
all right. So
a Halloween go-to type movie,
or a book or a TV show or just something.
Well, I always enjoyed whatever Halloween special The Simpsons had.
Okay.
Right. Which
we did talk about that earlier. I want to say I don't necessarily like dig TV or movies out for Halloween, but if I was, it would probably be some Addams Family
Yeah.
because
Oh, great movies. Good pick.
it's
Absolutely.
just something to sit back and enjoy. And I'm like,
Mhm.
probably another one would be just Casper,
Mhm.
just for the fun of it, because I don't think my kids have seen Casper.
Mhm.
But other than that, no, because I'm not a scary movie person. Even though I was talking to Chris the other day about all the ones I have seen, which is actually quite a few.
Mhm.
But I don't know how scary, but they're like more gory with a
Yeah.
little bit of
Right.
scare to it. I mean, because I was talking about, was it Phantasm, Hellraiser, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween.
See, I
Mary
really enjoyed
Poppins.
the first Mary Poppins. I really enjoyed the first Freddy Krueger movie, Nightmare on Elm Street.
Okay.
There was a
Uh-huh.
sense of humor to it. Freddy's got
A twisted sense of humor, but a
yeah.
sense of humor nonetheless.
So I enjoyed that movie, but not the sequels. Same with
Mhm.
Yeah.
same with the first Halloween or Scream, because Scream was almost a parody of horror movies at the same time, where the kids realized that everything was based on old horror movies
Mhm.
and tried to outsmart the killer based on their knowledge of horror movies.
Hmm. Yeah. It's just not my forte. Whereas, like, Randy and our friend Sean, it's like, bring it on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
More the
they'll,
merrier.
they would go to like Fear at Frontier and everything and laugh
Hmm.
during the whole thing. Whereas me, I would be totally petrified. There was a summer that Deanna, Sean, and I did a road trip up to Niagara Falls to go to the casino.
Okay.
Tyler was in daycare or whatever, and it was a day I had off. Must have been like over April break or whatever. And we went to the casino, and then we went across the border when we could get across, and we went to whatever haunted house is right on the other side of Niagara Falls. And oh my God, Sean was in front of me, and Deanna was behind me, and I had both of their hands.
Is that
I
where
held,
people just kind of touch you in the dark and scare you and
yeah,
stuff?
something like that, or
Yeah.
jump out at you and whatever. And I'm just like, yeah, no, nope, 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 nope,
That's
nope.
gonna be a no.
Definite no. So, but and I think it stems from there was like one year that I had friends over. I don't know if it was after prom or if it was at Halloween time, and we were watching movies on the front porch of my parents' house. So I must have, we definitely was a teenager, and the front porch is one of those add-on front porches that's like all windows.
Okay.
Um, and my dad had snuck out of the house and was watching us watch the movie and
Oh,
came up to the front door of the porch and started banging on it.
of
Oh
course
my
he did.
God, we all screamed
Yeah.
bloody murder at that point. And
Uh-huh.
and he went around laughing.
Yeah.
Of course he did. Yeah.
Of course he did. He's like, ha, and whatever. I'm like, oh. So I think that's probably what stems from it, because I hate being scared. I can't
Mhm.
I can't stand it, and I'm just a big chicken shit in regards to that. So
Being startled is not one of my list of things to enjoy either. And I wonder if maybe that might be part of the answer to Billy's question, because earlier in the conversation, he's like, was there something that caused you to not like Halloween anymore? And it's just because of people's need to just the jump scare over and over again. It's like, really, just stop it. I hate being startled. Please just stop.
and you know what? I liked going on like the haunted hay rides and things like that. And I know that it's fake. I know that it's pretend.
Hmm.
But god damn, it seems real.
Mhm.
So,
I went the last time I went on a haunted hayride. Polly was one of the zombies, by the way.
Okay, so you went to the Verhulst one that Paul
Yeah, I
used
went
to
to the
be at.
Verholtz one, and I knew it was him because of his stature and his stride. Because I'd
Right.
seen him, I've met him a couple of times before, so I knew it was him. And he's just like stalking behind going, "Hi, how are you?"
Yeah.
And I was so uncomfortable. I started laughing. I was it was that nervous laugh. Like, I'm not really, it's not like I was scared. I'm just really nervous at this
Right.
point. So it's like, why is this happening to me right
Yeah. So yeah, I don't like to be scared,
now? Uh-huh.
and I'm like, even and I don't like gore either, and I'll watch scary things or gory things through my fingers. So,
It's
but
true. It's true. When we were watching, what was it we were watching a couple weeks ago? We were getting ready for podcast, and I
Doom
can't,
Patrol.
Doom Patrol. And there was a couple of sequences where Tanya was basically buried in my shoulder behind her hands.
Oh,
And I respect that because, man, there was some brutal imagery in that show.
well, I did that with either Jessica Jones or Daredevil.
Yeah. Yeah, both of
All
those.
I remember
Everybody.
is the wrought iron fence and the head through it.
Uh-huh.
So, and
Stand
I
and
was like,
play.
yeah, it was pretty gory. I can't remember which show it was, but yeah, that's mine. So I want to say that's the part about Halloween I don't like that other people love. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I love the fact that people go all out to make their house be scary or funny or very creative with their decorations. I'm like, because
Right.
we try to go all out as much as we possibly can,
Good
except for
baby.
all of our inflatables don't necessarily stay attached to the ground, and
No,
they have a tendency to go flying, so we usually don't have them inflated just because it's been super windy over the last couple of years. But
it has been. Really, the weather, we'll see in this neck of the woods, the weather's always a crapshoot. That's all there is to it.
yeah, so but
It snowed on Halloween once. I remember that.
oh, yeah, it was like 1994, I think.
Yeah, it was one of those.
Yeah, but then there's been other Halloweens. It's been like 70.
Yeah,
So,
also a thing.
welcome to Rochester. But yeah, so I think that's the part that I don't like is I don't like the scary aspect, but I love going into the Halloween type stores, whether it's Arlene's or Party City
Mm-hmm.
or anything around, and seeing, ooh, what other stuff could we decorate the house with? Ooh, how many more zombie babies can we get to put out there and scare the bejesus out of our kids? So,
I love
and
your motivation. It's like, all
the
right, well,
thing
let's
is,
get
oh
the
my
bejesus
god.
out of my kids.
So, well, just like you, Randy's birthday's in September.
Right.
So we
He's like the next
usually,
day. He's the day after
yeah,
mine,
his is
isn't
the
he?
day after yours.
Yeah.
So usually we're looking at like Home Depot or Spirit Halloween or anywhere that's got props that or decorations we can put out.
Uh-huh.
And on Facebook this year, someone had posted for the smoke breathing dragon that was being
Ooh.
sold at Home Depot, and Nene's like, "Is it available? Is it available? Is it in stock? Is it in stock?" And because it was one that you'd put together, so it wasn't inflatable, and you hook up a fog machine to it, and it blows out smoke. Of course, it's from a couple years ago, so of course it's not in stock anymore.
Of
But
course.
she was ready to purchase it for the house because she's like, we need that. So I was gonna say, if we suggest anything, or if Riker suggests something that has to do with a holiday type decoration, and if
Mm-hmm.
it's at Home Depot or BJ's, it's usually in my mother-in-law's car the next day.
That's fine.
So I'll give her that. But where was I going with this? Oh, for
No,
Randy's birthday. So for Randy's birthday, I get a text from my mom. They're like, they're in Home Depot, and
uh-huh.
she sends me this. I want to say it's a 9 or 10 foot tall skeleton, kind of like leaning over a little bit. And
Mm-hmm.
she's like, "What about Randy for his birthday?" I'm like, "That would be perfect. My kids would never leave the house." So it was just like, because if we put it in the front yard,
Yeah.
neither kid would go out the door.
No.
They would not leave the house whatsoever.
They'll
And
go out the back door.
Riker has to leave the house to go to school, but yet if it's in our yard, he won't come anywhere near it. Like when he goes trick or treating, if he perceives the house to be scary or spooky, he avoids it like the plague.
That's amazing.
He hates it. He will not set foot in Spirit Halloween. He doesn't even necessarily like going into certain spots in Walmart if it has something to do with scary or if it jumps out at you. Won't do it.
Huh.
He will not step foot in Spirit Halloween, and it's been like 2 or 3 years now.
Now, Billy, do you and Susan put the cats in costumes?
No. If when was the last time we were at a pet store? Uh, a year ago, maybe just before COVID,
Uh-huh.
and Susan saw like a little bow tie or some type of something, and
Uh-huh.
she's
Cute
gonna,
thing.
yeah. And she goes, "Oh, Bob, look cute." I go, "We're not getting the cat a bow tie. We're not gonna. He won't like it." And she kept seeing like clothes for the cats. The cats aren't gonna wear clothes.
No.
Don't spend $15 on a cat, you know, hat or whatever it is she wanted to buy.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
so she
Now I
realized that
heard
I was
that
right.
Anne wants to buy a Wonder Woman cape for Juno.
Yeah, she showed me the picture of that.
Yeah, and it was funny because the other day I'm like, no capes.
Mhm.
So
And one for Molly the kitten.
Molly already has her Wonder Woman
Oh,
costume
she
that
has a Wonder Woman costume?
yes, she already has one that that's the picture that Anne had or I've taken one with Anne and Jess holding Molly in the Wonder Woman costume. Now because
Okay.
it fits her. Before she would be able to walk right out of it.
Mhm.
So now it fits her. And she's really cute in it. But then, so it's like with Molly possibly going to your house before before Halloween,
Oh,
she was
that's
gonna
right.
get.
You're getting a cat, aren't you, Chris?
It's entirely possible, yes. It's starting to look like it's
It's the
actually gonna be
little
a thing.
gray one that I wanted to snuggle.
It's
Mhm.
the little gray fuzzball. But Jules fell in love with it, and so we're trying to just see how Juno reacts to Cat. So I
Okay.
brought Juno over to Anne's house the other day, and they didn't, like the kitten was like, what the hell is this very large hairy thing coming after me, and so she was a little concerned about Juno, but Juno seemed to be pretty cool and laid back about having the kitten around. But next is Anne's going to bring Molly over to my house, and we're going to see how they behave and how Molly adjusts to being at my place, and then we'll go from there.
That's okay. Molly took a swipe at Cookie the other day
Oh yeah.
because Cookie doesn't like the kitten,
Uh-huh.
and Molly decided that she had enough with Cookie's attitude or whatever, and took it, attacked or swiped at Cookie. So Anne's like, she's like, "Do you hear that noise?" I'm like, "What noise?" I was talking to her this afternoon, and I'm like, "What noise?" She's like, "That's Molly curled up on my lap purring while I'm at work, sound asleep,
Aw.
purring." And then she's like petting her. She's like, "Why is your back all chewed up?" Like she had like little scabs and stuff on her back. She's like,
Mm-hmm.
"Who'd you get into a fight with?" I'm like, "It was probably Cookie."
Hmm.
So because Ravi ignores her, Sunny ignores her,
Mm-hmm.
Boomer treats her like his own kitten and
Right.
will bathe her and Logan. It's Cookie that doesn't like Molly and Logan. Cookie
I
is
see.
Cookie's the littlest cat in the house, and she belongs to Wade. Or wait, let me rephrase that. Wade belongs to her,
Right. Get it right.
and yeah, let me get it right. And if Cookie perceives that somebody is taking Wade away from her, she is going to be
Get
a little
irritated.
snotty about it. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's a little snot. So in the video I had posted, I'm like, Cookie, leave the cats alone. So, but
That's funny. She's a little
on
snot.
and she's a little snot. Cookie is. But well, on that note,
Uh-huh.
let's start wrapping this up with our question of the week, and I'm sure that you probably have one for us, Chris.
I do. Let me just check something real quick here. Okay. In lieu of it being the Halloween season, I will ask the following question. In the zombie apocalypse, Billy,
Yes, sir.
what would be your weapon of choice?
And a zombie apocalypse. Let's see. I've seen a few seasons of Walking Dead.
There you
Train to
go.
Busan is an excellent movie. It's a zombie movie I highly recommend.
Okay.
It seems like baseball bat is the obvious answer
Okay.
because
Baseball bat works.
you've got enough reach to get at the zombie. Although, gun I don't like guns. Even in the zombie apocalypse, I don't want a gun.
I'm with you. It's very MacGyver-esque, and I'm all about it. That's perfectly fine.
I don't like guns, so I'm even with zombies. I don't know.
Bullets run out.
Yeah, exactly.
Bullets run out. Bats do not run out of ammunition.
So I'm going to go with your standard baseball bat. It seemed to work for some of the folks on The Walking Dead.
Yeah. Negan.
Yeah.
You picked a fine time to leave me, Lucille. How about you, Tanya Fabulous?
I have the perfect answer for this.
Tell me.
Daryl and Michonne.
Ooh.
So you're not picking weapons, you're picking people.
I'm picking my weapons. They're my weapons.
I gotcha.
Because they are better at it than I am.
They're living
Go
weapons.
team. I will be taken out by Koski in the first episode.
You'll be Koski and French will hang up on you. It'll be
Yes,
all over.
Koski and French will get me in the very first round of the zombie apocalypse, and I will just be going right along with them. I will be right on their tail, and I will be their little zombie sister.
Well,
So
we can't have that. So absolutely, we'll make sure that
so
get you a Daryl. It'll be fine.
So I need Daryl and Michonne. Hey, at least I'm honest. I know that I have no skills in regards to that. I would not survive the zombie apocalypse.
That's a way better answer than I got. So.
And Tanya, we love you anyway, so it's all good.
I know. I wouldn't even be able to survive in an apocalypse anyway, because I'm not a doomsday prepper like everyone else in my family.
Yeah,
well, there's that.
I'd just be giving up.
No, because you guys haven't heard what my weapon would be yet.
Okay, what's your weapon, Chris?
A tank.
All right.
Because then I'm just going to go driving around. I don't even have to aim it. I don't have to load it. I'm not going to do anything. I just want to drive around it. I'll come rescue you guys, and then we'll go out for pizza. I'll just drive over them.
But then I'm thinking, okay, in the zombie apocalypse, there's no companies making gas, and nothing. Stuff is starting to run out, and so
it'd be a safe place to sleep at night. Seriously, I mean, tell them get in with your bare hands. Go ahead, zombies. It's all good.
Cool.
Okay. I'm still not 100% certain on that, but okay.
Smile and nod. Smile and nod, Tanya. Smile and nod.
I told you, I'm gonna be bitten by Koski and French, and therefore I'm gonna become a zombie.
Once we get clear of the city and all the zombies are downtown eating everybody else at City Hall. Sorry, did I say that out loud?
Yeah.
I would make my way out to an RV place, right? And I'd hook up an RV, and we would just go south, and we'd pick up Koski and French to make sure they didn't actually were turned, so they wouldn't bite us.
Okay.
Kind of, bring them on board, save them.
I was gonna say they would actually be really good in regards to fooling the zombies.
Seriously, I mean they're like our
experts.
As our
disguise. Yes, they would help us disguise it.
See.
So.
Yeah, we would need the help because we're doomed.
Yes. Well, and we'd have to make sure that we have a super big stash of poutine.
I can work with that. Absolutely.
Not necessarily for me. I just want the French fries.
Well, there you go.
The rest of the food has to go to Michael.
All right. Sounds good. See, so that was a constructive conversation with a reasonable conclusion. That means this is where I would go, hey, Dan.
Hey, what?
Hey, what? Hey, Dan.
Hey, what?
Hit it. Because this has been FC3's Monkey Business. Oh, God, let me start that over again. Wow. Hey, Dan, never mind. Wow. My name is Chris Frank, and I speak for a living. Hello. How are you?
Well, you've been dealing with a headache all podcast.
Yeah, you are a headache.
I know. I'm also a pain in the ass.
Yes, but adorable, and that's why.
Thank you.
All right. So, with that being said,
hey Dan.
Hey Dan, I mean it this time. Hey Dan, I mean it this time. It's hit it. Because this has been MMC's Mighty. Oh God, what is going on with my head right now?
I've never heard that one before.
This has been another episode of Monkey Business, a product of the Mighty Monkey Corporation.
Yeah, that.
Purveyors and producers of the Flower City Comic-Con, coming at you like a spider monkey, April 24th and 25th, or 25th and 26th. Sometime in the last weekend in April. I can't remember the dates off the top of my head because I'm losing it because Chris has already gone off the deep end. But
I'm done.
check out our Facebook page for the accurate dates because I'm losing my mind. Also,
Just show
follow
up
us
at the Total Sports Experience at sometime in April.
sometime at the end of April.
Everyone from Flower City Comic Con will show up eventually and meet you there.
Yeah, there you go. So
Follow us
on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, follow us on Instagram, follow us wherever we go, and we have no idea where we're going, but we'll lead you to where the entertainment is.
There's been a lot of entertainment tonight.
Oh wow, this entire closing credits has been an outtake. It's amazing.
It is.
Somebody
It's
just
been-
go dun, dun, really?
The what?
Just somebody
Dun,
go dun. There we go.
Hey, Tanya, shouldn't you hit record?
Oh shit!